Hey everyone, so this is a 2018 Honda Accord Sport 2-liter turbo manual transmission. Now, I looked all around the internet and on YouTube and I could not find anything about this transmission fluid flush, so I'm going to show you what we got. The transmission undercover, it has many flathead screws that you just have to turn 90 degrees counterclockwise and then they'll fall out. And at the rear end, it has two Phillips screws, and those are actually threaded. You have to completely unscrew them counterclockwise. And at the back end here, it has those plastic tabs, and it's also at the front lip, it's tucked underneath this. So once you get the screws out, you have to slide it backwards, and then it will drop out. So coming from the driver's wheel well, underneath here, there's this bottom plug, and you just need a 3/8 ratchet or extension on that and take that off in order to drain it. Now this will come out very quickly, so make sure you have a pan right underneath it and plenty of rags. Then once it's done draining, make sure that you wipe out on the inside of this so there's no debris. Make sure you're using a clean rag. And on the drain plug, make sure you still have that crush washer and make sure that is clean. Ideally, Honda advises every time you do this to change out the crush washer. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a torque spec for the drain plug or the fill plug, but I tightened it down to what felt appropriate, and it was about 50 foot-pounds when I put a torque wrench on it afterwards. And that'll be the same for the fill plug on top. And you want to make sure you don't over torque this because it is an aluminum housing. You can easily strip it out. And the fill plug is on top here. I forgot to roll the camera before taking this apart, but there are 4 clips in the housing here. You can either use the appropriate panel clip tool, or you can usually get it with just a flathead screwdriver. You just have to pop them up, and then when you pop it up, it then retracts the pin and it allows it to pop out all the way. So then once this pulls out, the main airbox, it just has the clips right here that hold down the top end. And this is, you could use a Phillips or, oddly enough, a 5.5 millimeter socket on this in order to loosen it up from the airbox housing. And then you can pull this up and away. There are 2 10 millimeter bolts, one on each side in the front here, and it's gonna seem like it just doesn't want to come out. It's got a little bit of a rubber O-ring around the tube below here, but the big problem is gonna be, so at the back right corner from this angle, it has this little tab on the corner, and it has a rubber grommet down here. And it's very difficult because you can't get your hands around this side of it, but you just have to keep on wiggling the box around until you pop it up and over that. I sprayed some lubricant on there as well, so it would help it slip up and over it. And so then once you get the airbox out, I already had it pulled out, but the fill plug, it's another 3/8 ratchet or extension, and it's right down here next to the mount bracket. Now, if any of you remember the older style manual transmissions for Honda, it was a fill and a drain off the one end, the driver's end of the transmission. Now, underneath here, if I can get to it, there is that plastic plug that looks like it would be your fill, but that is not. If you try to fill it through that, it is not going to have enough fluid in it. So filling from the top, So filling from the top down in that hole there, you're going to want to add 2.27 quarts of Honda manual transmission fluid. Now this is the same manual transmission they've been using for a number of years, but make sure you're actually using the real Honda fluid. The only thing you could do as a substitute if you are really in a pinch, I believe it's the same on this one, but Honda advises you can use 1040 or 1030 motor oil as a temporary replacement, but do not use anything beyond that. If at all possible, use the actual Honda fluid. It's very particular. So now for filling, if you have a long transmission funnel, that's probably the easiest way of doing this. Because there's no dipstick, make sure you are actually measuring it out. You can get just any old measuring cup to do so. It's 2.27 quarts. So just over 2 1/4 quarts. And we're going to fill it up now. And again, make sure you're using the actual Honda manual transmission fluid. So now once you have it filled, again on this one, make sure that the surface is completely cleaned off with a clean rag. And then same with the bolt. Make sure that it's clean and your crush washer is clean. And again, Honda advises changing the crush washer every time you do this. So now once the fill plug is in, you can start reassembling the airbox, and that fill plug, same as on the bottom, I felt that 50 foot-pounds was about appropriate, but I do not have the official spec on that. So then reassembling the airbox, and we're all good here. Okay, and now we're completely reassembled. Everything's all back together. Transmission fluid is in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you.